Welcome back to budgettravelerchris.com, and we're here in Sooke at Mitch's shop, and we've got the RV over here to Mitch's shop now, and we're just opening up the door on the shop. We got a really big shop here to bring the big motorhome in where it can be serviced. We're gonna service the engine, the transmission, and the rear end, as well as do all 4 brakes. So this will be a completely serviced RV. Thanks to Mitch and his shop at work. Thank you, Mitch, for this opportunity, for bringing the RV in here. That really helps. I really appreciate it. And there's one of their toys that they have there. We might look into that a little later. All right, so we got the motorhome all jacked up here. So Mitch is going to undo the differential cover so we can change the dirty 80-90 weight gear oil here in this room. Here's me trying to film it. Hi everybody. People want to see my face. I accidentally showed my face. I was trying to zoom in and show you a little closer, but I accidentally hit the other button that reverses it, you know, and shows the guy who's filming his face. Oh, there you go. Look at that, eh? Precision. You knew what to do there, eh? Just knock it very carefully, and look at how ugly that stuff is coming out. It's
just like sludge.
Oh, isn't that something, eh?
Yeah, that's
oh, look at that. This is the reason, everybody, why you should service your rear end differential fluid. It doesn't last forever. Today, we have the luxury of being in this big, beautiful shop with everything you need, and the biggest thing we need is dry space, and this has lots of it, and it's big enough and it's tall enough that we can put the motorhome up on jack stands and leave it up here for all the fluids to drain. So stay tuned while we work on the RV in Mitch's workshop in Sooke, BC. So now we're going to drive this beast in here and get working on her. All right, well, we got the RV inside the shop now. So as you can see, it takes a fairly big shop to fit one of these RVs, and it's got a nice tall ceiling, so we'll be able to jack it up without it hit the ceiling. So we're going to jack it up now, so let's get at her. So we got the motorhome all jacked up here. We're nice and high enough to get the wheels off. Mitch is going to do that now, and he was just remembering that I mentioned that this side on the driver's side is left-hand thread. It's the only set of lug nuts that are left-hand thread, Mitch, but here it is.
There we go.
So is it left-hand thread?
The left-hand thread.
It is confirmed. There we go. So my air impact, put them on nice and tight.
Those up.
Yeah, I got little boxes to put them in. I'll keep your nuts and bolts organized so you don't lose them when you take your wheels and parts off. So now Mitch is working on removing the rear brake drums, and before you remove the rear brake drums on a Dana 70 full floater, you must remove the axle first. Is that correct, Mitch?
Yes, you do. Yeah, it'll definitely make life a lot easier.
And the reason you're able to rotate this so freely now is because you've already spent 5 minutes backing off the adjusting star adjuster, as they call it, right?
Exactly.
And how far did you back that off?
Just a couple turns, nothing too crazy, just enough that we have a lot less resistance.
And I've noticed you've put a mark on.
I like to always do that just so when things come apart, they go back the exact same way.
So what are you going to do now then, Mitch?
Well, we're going to take out our axle here.
So after we take off the wheel, the first step is to take that axle out. All right, so you're going to buzz that off. Now when you pull that axle out, you'll notice that there's some oil that'll run out, and that's 80 W90 weight, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So that's a really thick, stinky gear oil, and it smells. They're very smelly.
Yeah, I can see on the rag even, it's the
color of it. It needs service,
really
so
gross.
It's really good that we're going to service this before we send it to the new owner, because
that should be clear.
Yeah, it should be clear. Yeah. So you can see as he's pulling the shaft off, he's wiping the excess gear oil out, because that stuff makes a big sticky mess and you don't want it all over the shop floor, right?
Exactly. I'll put this somewhere safe.
Alrighty, so now that Mitch has got the axle shaft out, he's just going to blow off all the cobwebs and stuff that we saw in here, and that'll clean that out. And look how much nicer that looks now. Wow. A little bit of compressed air really makes a big difference there, eh?
Sure does.
Wow, isn't that something, eh? Nice. Yeah, look at that. Those were all brand new brakes 8 years ago before she got parked, weren't they?
They're, yeah.
They're new wheel cylinders, new shoes and everything, never seized. I could tell somebody was in there when I was working on them before. What a nice surprise we just found out here. We've got new brakes put on this, just like I suspected. So we got to just basically clean them up. And do you want to explain what you're going to do to the shoes to revitalize them?
Yeah, so the shoes, because they have been used, we want to get rid of the little bit of the glazing on them. Glazing comes
Let's get the light on it.
With heat, of course, and so it does reduce our braking power. So we're going to get rid of the glaze that's a little bit on there. It's nothing bad, but we just want to make sure when we're servicing the shoes that we can bring them back to how
they get
be.
that shiny glazed finish on them, and when you sand them with sandpaper, it just opens up the pores and increases their coefficient of friction against the drum, right? And then we'll do the same on the drums as well. We'll run some emery cloth and sandpaper, or sandpaper in there, probably like 80 grit or 100 grit or somewhere in there, right? Maybe 120 or something.
Yeah, definitely not going to harm it. A coarse grit sandpaper is going to be your best bet.
Yeah, it's probably something like 100 or 120. Just get all that loose rust off of there, and there's no ridge on there at all on that drum, is there?
No, it's in great shape.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good news. Well, thank you, Mitch, for giving me the good news and helping me out. Nothing but good news. You gotta love it, eh?
Absolutely.
Good news.
Anytime, Chris.
Well, thank you so much. So Mitch is just gonna sand these brake shoes because they're like brand new. Still about probably 75-80% material left on them. And you can see when he sands them, it just opens up the pores and makes them look like they are when they're brand new coming in the box to you, right? Because they get that little glazed finish on it from the brake drum rubbing on them. But other than that, this side here looks like brand new as well. So all we have to do is clean them up and put them back together. They've already been done and adjusted properly as well. Hey Mitch, anything else to add to that?
Yeah, that's we'll have to get our new wheel seals so we can
a new axle seal will go on here.
It will go. Yep.
Yeah, that'll go on that'll seal there.
The worst is putting it back to find out that it's gonna dribble
and leak back into your
leak straight
into
over
your
top
drain.
of everything,
right?
And that's gonna become a bigger mess.
And you don't want to risk getting any oil in on your brakes, because we don't want oil in on the brakes at all. All right, awesome. Well, this job is going better than we expected, eh?
It is.
And down here on his towel, he's got the bearing that came out of there, and the big axle nut, and then all the bolts that hold the axle in. So because these drums are really nice and they don't require machining, all they require is a little bit of cleanup. Mitch is just gonna sand off the loose rust and then open up the pores of the metal a bit with some, what are you using, 100 grit?
I'm using 80 grit.
80 grit, yeah. So some 80 grit, 100 grit, 120, somewhere in there will work really nicely, and that'll help you get a nice surface in here where the brake shoes are gonna push on to stop the vehicle. So that's looking really nice, Mitch.
Okay.
Awesome. And here's one after, and here's one kind of, well, he's done a little bit of cleaning, but he's not finished there, but you get the general idea. You just want to clean the drums up of any loose rust, and if you do have any grooves in your drum, then you'll have to have it machined, but we don't have any grooves.
Yeah.
So all we have to do is clean it up with some sandpaper. So we got lucky this time, eh, Mitch?
Absolutely.
You
Yeah,
gotta love it.
It's in great shape.
Awesome. I'm helping Mitch with the job here, and I'm going to be cleaning up these bolts. Very important to clean up the bolts. You can see the before and after is quite a difference. You know, the threads get cleaned really nice, not to mention all the rust. And we're going to paint everything so it looks nice. So we're going to clean these up. And how we do that is we put them in the vice grips. I mean, you can hold them with your fingers, but it's recommended you hold them with the vice grips. And then that way they don't get away on you. And then start off by cleaning the threads here. Just rotate it as you go around. You can see how quick they clean. And then you can even clean the head where it contacts with the tool. And then you just change this here onto the part that you couldn't get. Clean that part. And then I just finally change it like this, and then I get the head of the bolt, and just clean up the head of the bolt really nice. These are high quality grade 8 bolts. Very high quality steel made back in 1984. So look at the quality of that bolt and how clean it is now. You can't even buy a bolt that nice now. This is just a bit of thread sealant on there, because these are for the axle bolts that hold the axle shaft in. So that's it, folks. It's an important job here of cleaning nuts and bolts, something my mentor Les Hume taught me, the master of disaster, the one and only Les Hume. And he taught me that it was very important to clean all your bolts, threads, and the heads, and then I even paint them. So there's your tip of the day from budgettravelerchris.com.